Hello, welcome to the Transformers Breakdown. So in today's episode, we are going to cover episode 13 in season 2, the Insecticon Syndrome. In this particular episode, the Insecticons team up with Megatron and they go to this Nova power plant. They eat some kind of Nova energy, become super strong and bigger than average, and they become ticking time bombs. But in the process, they're going to go to the defense computer in order to take it over, and Optimus and his friends create a potion that will basically heal them and make them come back to normal. So let's start. In this particular episode, I also want to address the color palette of the Insecticons is purple and black and yellow. I'm not quite sure what yellow necessarily means. Oftentimes yellow is a color that is referenced to either happiness or madness. A lot of people have said that if you paint a house yellow, you will go crazy, so there's a reference to that. The color purple is reference to royalty, and the color black in cartoons is often referred to as a negative color. So the combination of these, the madness of the Insecticons who will just consume, the purple is a royalty element, and the black is the negative evil element. So then these combined, perhaps it's a reference to companies that were doing deforestation and are still doing deforestation, and kings and queens in the planet that allow this to happen. So there's a stretch, let me know, perhaps not. So then you've got the Insecticons eating, you've got Beachcomber, you've got Bumblebee and Hound, and they're chasing after the Insecticons. And so they find them, and then Beachcomber fights them. If you know anything about Beachcomber, he does not fight, and he does not like to fight. But in this particular episode, he does shoot his gun, and I believe it's because the Insecticons are destroying the planet. Because if anybody knows anything about Beachcomber, he's a total hippie. So what happens. The Insecticons chase after them. I think they either run them over a cliff, and then Hound uses a hologram projector in order to make the illusion that he died with his friends, but in reality he did not. Now this is another particular secret, that Hound is green, and green is a color as central column, oftentimes referred to for Moses. Now Moses, there was a whole secret about how the Israelites thought that he had died and he had perished, but he in reality didn't, and the whole illusion of death. So there's something going on there. So they've got that going on. So the Insecticons go to the Nova power plant. They eat the Nova power plant, and Bombshell makes the reference that the protons are what's making them become bigger. Now there's also another secret, that protons are the changing of the protons and is what leads to cancer in the manufacturing of foods and in how protons are being manipulated. So there's a secret in that, in how it reveals cancer in the world. So you've got that going on, and then they grow. So cancer cells grow. So basically the Insecticons have intestinal cancer, but because they're machines, they're going to literally explode. Rather than as humans, they just, grow those things in their bodies. So then in this particular episode, you got Buzzsaw making an appearance. Buzzsaw is a cassette that comes with Soundwave and the toys, and he sometimes does, sometimes doesn't, but Laserbeak oftentimes is the go-to guy. So Buzzsaw comes in. Also Inferno is featured. He is kind of like this cowboy mentality attitude. He is a fire truck that shows up, and so that's what's going on. So the Autobots realize that the protons and the trilithium stomach of the Autobots. I am not a scientist, I am not a chemist, but interesting, I believe that there's got to be some kind of secret to trilithium and protons, and what the difference between those two are, and what that leads to cancer. So there's perhaps some healing secrets going on there. So you got the Decepticons attack the master computer in Iron Mountain. Now there's something really interesting. Shrapnel can control the defense computers with his little antenna thing, and he actually makes them fight the defense computer itself. So why do they need to go inside? But they do. So Megatron sends Soundwave, but before this, the Bombshell has implanted a little cerebral shell into Soundwave in order to be able to control him and have him be their spy. So the Insecticons realize that Megatron is out to fool them, so they're going to fool Megatron. So they go in there. Shrapnel gets the computer, the defense computer. The Autobots show up, and Megatron's about to shoot them, but Optimus stops them from shooting them, and he tells them no, because they're going to explode if you use your cannon mode in order to destroy them. So the two healers, which also happen to be white, there's also a reference to white and healing. So there's a lot of the color references that they're using in the color palettes. Also realize, think about this for a second. America's colors, red, white, and blue. France's color, red, white, and blue. Britain's colors, red, white, and blue. Australia's color, red, white, and blue. Very major powers. So what's the secret about that? And what's the secret about Optimus being red, white, and blue? So there's some secrets about that. Red is a color of judgment, blue is a color of mercy, and white is also a color of mercy, or I believe, let me know what blue means. Is it a color of courage? I'm not quite sure what blue means, but there's definitely a 3-color system going on there. So there's also effects of lightsabers. If you listen to it, you know, there's the effect of lightsabers going on there. So, and then Soundwave reveals another secret. He can touch computers and gain their information through them, by touching them. So Soundwave is extremely powerful, and I've talked about this before. Bombshell has placed bombs, little shell pellets, into all the Decepticons in order to be able to undermine Megatron. This is before Megatron realizes what's going on. He's about to shoot them. And then Megatron is also gray. You know, there's the concept that darkness is not necessarily black or white. It's more of a gray tone. So there's a secret about that, and about Decepticons, the factor that they're called Decepticons. I've talked about this before in previous episodes. In this episode, Megatron and Optimus work together. Megatron transforms into a gun, or actually Optimus literally folds Megatron into a gun in order to shoot the little medicine that happens to be green into the Insecticons in order to stop them from blowing up. Bombshell and Kickback get cured. Shrapnel does not. He sort of does, but he still explodes. Spike climbs up on top of him after he's basically summoned electricity. He has like storm powers, and mind you, he's completely covered in electricity, but Spike still touches him, so there's some irregularity with that, and he throws the potion inside of him. Shrapnel gets healed, and so that's what happened. Soundwave is thrown. Soundwave's memory is completely erased. That's what he says, but I think he made the reference. We're supposed to assume that he only forgot the defense mechanism situation. And so that's what happened. But Bombshell reveals that they cannot be easily destroyed. So Bombshell shoots a pellet. The pellet splits off into tons of little pellets. They connect all over Shrapnel, and they build Shrapnel back together, and then they fly off. And then Megatron chases after them. And the Autobots say, oh, I guess they were bugging Megatron. And that's how the episode ends. Did you like this episode? Did you not like this episode? What do you think about the secrets in Transformers? Do you believe there are secrets in Transformers? Interesting. And who created the Transformers? And did they know about these secrets in the coding? Or is it something that they just channeled? Interesting. So, or am I reaching? Let me know. Alright, ciao.